Anyone hoping for an emotional One Direction reunion at Liam Payne's funeral was confronted with the harsh truth. While the boys called each other brothers in their heyday and seemed like best friends, the gap is bigger than ever today. The contact has completely faded. Cheryl even had to intervene to prevent a fight during the funeral. Harry Styles, Niall Horan, Louis Tomlinson, and Zayn Malik did not spare each other a glance at the funeral of their former colleague, Liam Payne. Zayn was known to have been in a heated argument with Liam at the time of his death, but he still came to show his support for the family. The other boys also appear to be seriously at odds with each other, as confirmed by insiders who were present at the funeral. They all arrived separately without meeting beforehand or afterwards, it sounds. Harry arrived first, then Niall with his girlfriend, then Zayn, and finally Louis. As if it was a deliberate move not to bump into each other. Perhaps to avoid the cameras, local media initially speculated. But it soon became clear that the boys would not be fraternizing that day. Zayn and Louis spoke briefly after the service, but then immediately went their separate ways. The last time they all saw each other at the same time was at Simon Cowell's insistence, shortly after Louis' mother passed away. But that was 8 years ago now. Of course, they all wanted to be at the funeral. They shared so much with Liam, but that doesn't mean they are still best friends today, says the insider. They haven't worked together in over 10 years. They've grown apart. Harry Styles, in particular, the group's biggest star today, lives in a completely different world. It says a lot that Harry arrived and left with his other famous friend James Corden instead of the One Direction boys. The source continues. He has the least contact with all of them. Towards the end of his life, Liam was still mostly in touch with Louis and Zayn. And with Zayn, he had arguments all the time. Niall and Liam weren't that close, even though he happened to be the last member of the band to see him alive in Argentina. Liam went to a Niall concert with his girlfriend, Kate Cassidy, in the days before his death. He himself said at the time that some things needed to be talked out between Horan and himself. Nobody knows exactly what happened, but after the One Direction split, something went wrong between them. After the ceremony in the church, a wake was held in the garden of Liam's Buckinghamshire villa, where he lived with Cheryl Cole, the mother of his son Bear. Cheryl took it upon herself to deal with the tensions between the One Direction members there, the source says. She didn't want there to be a fight. That would have added stress to Liam's parents on a day that was already painful enough, so she kept a close eye on them. Even after the wake, Harry, Niall, Louis, and Zayn reportedly made no plans to see each other again in the future. It's a shame that a group that was once so close has completely fallen apart.